Good morning, students. So, how are you, all of you? Okay, welcome to the computer class. Okay, this is your third class. Okay, so in the last class, we have discussed about the types of viruses and about the antiviruses we have discussed. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to discuss about the cyber crime. Okay, then what do you mean by cyber crime? I will tell you. So, the online activities which are vulnerable to crime and can compromise personal safety as effectively as everyday crimes. That what we can call it as a cyber crime. That means the activities which are weak to crime and can compromise personal safety. That what we can call it as a cyber crime. Means crimes. Those who are going to do the crime activities, for that we are calling it as a criminal, isn't it? There are some officers will be there, so to take action against the crime. So for that office, that what we can call it as a cyber crime over here. Okay, that is the office, that what we can call it as a cyber crime. So these cyber crime can also involve criminal activities that are traditional in nature, such as theft, fraud, forgery, defamation, and mischief. So these are all the criminal activities that are going to do by the criminal persons in the societies. So to protect against all these things, the office has introduced that office, that what we can call it as a cyber office. Okay, so as I already said, the criminal activities, that means theft. So the theft means the stealing the information, that what we can call it as a theft. That means stealing the information. Then fraud. So doing fraud activities, that what we can call it as a fraud. And forgery. So duplicating any of the signature and any documents, that what we can call it as a forgery. And defamation. So defamation means so the action of damaging the reputation of a person or group by saying or writing bad things about them that are not true. That means if a person is, for example, consider if the person is very good saying bad things about that person, that what we can call it as a defamation. And mischief. Mischief means bad behavior. The person who is having a bad behavior, for that we are calling it as a mischief. These are all the criminal activities which has to be done by the criminals. To take action against these criminals, an office has introduced, that what we can call it as a cyber office. Okay, and this cyber crime can be broadly classified into two categories. They are the computer as a target and the computer as a weapon. So we can see these two one by one. First one is the computer as a target. This can be used in a computer to attack other computers. So these officers are used to attack the computer, to attack other computers. For example, hacking, virus or worm attacks, and DOS attack. DOS means disk operating system attack. So hacking. So hacking means all of you have know that. So stealing the information from anybody's emails or from anybody's computer, that what we can call it as a hacking. So taking the information from one computer without knowing the information from others, that what we can call it as a hacking. And if the person is if the virus is has been attacked to that computer, to that what we can call it as a virus, unwanted files will going to enter into that file, that what we can call it as a virus or worms attacks. So these three are the example for the computer as a target. This is one of the categories of the cyber crime, which will be helpful for taking action on the criminals. And here in computer as a in this target, what it will happen, one computer will going to attack to the other computers. How it will going to attack? Just by through the hacking, virus or worm attacks, and by the DOS attack. Okay, Then we can move to the computer as a weapon. So this can be done using a computer to commit real world crimes. So for example, consider cyber terrorism and IPR violations, credit card frauds, EFT frauds, pornography, and etc. Cyber terrorism, that means the information which is related to the computer, that what we can call it as a cyber terrorism. For example, stealing the password and stealing the some data, important data from a particular persons, from important persons, that what we can call it as a cyber terrorism. And IPR violations. IPR means intellectual property rights. So for this, for taking the information from the IPR, they can also cause the crime. Then credit card frauds, the persons who are going to steal the information of the credit card, so that what we can call it as the credit card frauds. Then the EFT frauds. EFT means electronic fund transfers. While transferring the funds through computers, through internet, so in that time also the hackers may not only the hackers, the criminals will going to steal the information. And the pornography means the one which changes the habits of the mind, the inner private self. That means, so the person who is giving torture to a particular persons, that without any intentions, that will come under in the pornographies. Those okay, this is all the classifications of the cyber crime. Okay, so next we can move to the next topic, that what we can call as a unauthorized hacking and unauthorized access and hacking. So unauthorized access means, so without any without knowing the user, the person will going to take the information from the other person's computer, that what we can call unauthorized access. And also we can call it as a hacking also. Hacking refers to an illegal intrusions into a computer systems or network. So there is an equivalent term to hacking, that we can call it as a cracking. So see here, hackers, what the hackers will do, hackers will going to write or use ready-made computer programs to attack the target computers. Okay, what they will going to do, they will write or they will going to use ready-made computer programs to steal the information from the reputed person's computer information. For example, consider one government officer will be there. So he is having his own private information about his organizations, about the particular office, any important government offices. What the hacker will do, by using some of the programs and by using some of the ready-made softwares, he will going to steal the information, or he may will going to steal the password of the particular file, particular document of that particular government officers. He will going to steal it. So for that person who is doing that, for that we can call it as a hacker. That what we can call it as a hacker. And the process of doing those things, that what we can call it as a hacking over here. So that we can call it as a hackings. And some of the motives behind these crimes includes are the greed, power, publicity, revenge, adventure, desire to access forbidden informations, and destructive mindset. So these are the motives behind the crime includes. So okay, that means greed means, so greed, the one who will going to greed the information, that what we can call it as a greed. Then power, who will going to take the power from one person's to another without any reasons, that what we can call it as a power. Publicity, so taking the publicity in the societies, so doing unwanted work also. He may take the publicity also. For example, criminals, they will be highlighted in the societies because they have done the criminal work. For that we are call it as a criminals. They will be taking the publicity, no? Likewise, revenge, and taking a revenge for a particular person's from his work. For that, what we can call it is a revenge. Adventure, doing some adventurous work, that is the adventure here. And desire to access forbidden information, that means the so feeling to access the information which is very hidden information. Forbidden means hidden informations. So taking the hidden informations from a particular persons, that what we can call it as a desire to access forbidden informations. And destructive mindset, that what I have said, pornography. Likewise, making a person very weak by telling bad things about him, like that what we can call it as a destructive mindset. Okay, then we can see web hijacking. All of you know hacking. I have explained about the hacking. Okay, hacking a web server or taking control of another person's website is called a web hijacking. That means, for example, one person will be there, he is having his own websites. So we are taking control of his website into their hands, that what we can call it as a web hijacking. Okay, all of you have know about the plane hijacking, isn't it? The criminals will do the web plane hijacking. Likewise here, if the hacking has done on the websites, that means taking control of the websites of other persons, that what we can call it as a web hijacking. Okay, so next we can move to the hackers. As I said, hackers means the one who will going to steal the information from others' files, documents, that what we can call it as a hackers. Okay, so in the site they have given the picture of some persons. He is Ankit Fadia. He is a well-known hacker. He will going to hack it for national security. That what we can call it as a ethical hacking. So if the hacking is done for a good cause, such as national security, that what we can call it as a ethical hacking. Okay, as I said, a hacker means a hacker, the one who will going to steal the information from a particular person's files, documents, and his websites and his web pages. If he has done like that, to that person we are call it as a hacker. Okay, then we can come to the next, cracker. So then who are crackers? Crackers are technical peoples who are experts in breaking into systems or to steal important data such as financial details or passwords, etc. To those we can call it as a crackers. For example, sometimes they use the keyloggers also for this purpose, and these crackers also cause harm to computers by destroying the data. Crackers will do the harm to the computers by destroying the data. What the hackers will do, without knowing the persons, they will do the steal of the information. For that we can call it as a hackers. And crackers also will do even sometimes they will be showing, they will be giving intimation to other persons that we are doing hacking. To that we can call it as a crackers. That is the difference between hackers and the crackers. Okay, next we can move to the next topic, that what we can call it as a backup and recovery tools. All of you are using a computer, isn't it? So for example, consider in a Microsoft Word, we are writing some files over there. Okay, so and we are creating a file and we are creating a document, isn't it? So we have not saved that document or the files. Okay, so if the current has gone in between, so what happened? The data may get lost, that what we have typed. So once the current came, we need to type it again. So for that purpose, what we have to do, we have to save the data. So while once you have typed the data in the Word, so we have to save it, and we have to go through by saving the datas. That means we are keeping the data as saved. That what we can call it as a data backup. So backup is the process of making duplication copies of a data which can be used to restore the original data in case of any data loss events. That means, for example, consider you have stored one file in a OneDrive with by giving some name. Okay, so we have to store that file twice in our computers because there may be chance of losing the files by entering the virus into that file. Okay, so we have to make the copies of the data. We have to save the same file twice in a computers. So if one file has destroyed, so there we will get another file. Okay, so by making the duplication of the file or data, that what we can call it as a data backup. See here, they have shown the figure over here. See here, data backups. So they have given, these are all the computers are connected to the CPU, two CPUs over here. We will what we have to do is we can use two CPUs. For example, they have used two CPUs here. So in the computer, whatever we have stored in the computer, that will be stored in the hard disk, isn't it? So and we need to store those files in another hard disk also. For that they are showing the two CPUs over there. Okay, so we have to save the data into hard disks. So if one hard disk has destroyed, so there may be a chance of getting another the same file from another hard disk. For that purpose they have shown the two hard disk over there. This is all about the backups. Okay, so these backups are very helpful in two ways. How they are useful, we can see here: to restore data after any disaster. That means that I have early said, if destroy of one file takes place, so if we have done the backups, there may be a chance, definitely we will get a chance of getting the same copy of the files. Okay, because we have done the backups. And second one is to restore small number of files that have been accidentally deleted or corrupted. As I early said, if the files have corrupted or deleted, so knowingly or unknowingly, or if you have done like that, so we will get another copy of the file. That is a second helpful way for using the data backup. Then we can move to the next topic, that what we can call it as a storage media. Then what are all the storage medias? See here, you will going to create a file, or you will going to create a documents. Where you will going to store it? So it may, if you have store it in a computer, it will be stored it in the hard disk, isn't it? So there are many ways are there, many devices will be available to store the files or the documents. They are the magnetic tapes, hard disk, optical disk, floppy disk, and solid state storage. They are the USB flash drivers, memory sticks, and these are all the devices which are used to store the file or information or documents. Okay, so and all the pictures of all those they have given at the side of that page. See here, so these are all you can see this. So these are all the devices, okay, for storing the information. For that we can call it as a storage media. Okay, then we can move to the next topic, that what we can call it as a techniques of data backups. So in that there are some topics they have introduced. First one is the online backup systems. That means for example, consider we are doing any one of the work, or okay, we are doing one project, for example, consider like that. So if you want any one of the backup information, for example, if we while doing one projects, if you want some of the information about a particular topic, at that time what you will do, you will going to open the Google and you will going to search it in a Google, isn't it? And you will get an informations. How you have done? By through online you have got the information. How that to how? Through Google. So Google. So if you have take the information through Google, that means the online process, isn't it? For that purpose, we are call it as a online backup systems. For that, we can call it as a online backup system. If you are taking the backup from online, for that we can call it as a online backup systems. Okay, and the process of copying files to a server for backup, that we can call it as a data replications. For server we are copying a file. If you are copying a file to a server, that too for the backup if you have done, for that we can call it as a data replications. Okay, then offline backup system. Okay, offline backup systems. For example, that I have early said, online means if you have stored the data, or if you have save the, if not only save, if you have created backup through online, that what we can call it as a online backup. If you have done through offline, that what we can call it as a backup. Offline means storing it in some of the storage devices. That what I have said, the storage devices, they are magnetic tape, hard disk, optical disk, floppy disk. So through this, if you have take the backup from these devices, that what we can call it as a offline backup systems. Okay, then we can move to the next topic, that what we can call it as a backup sites. See here, the backup servers need properly configured networks. So backup, there are so many backup sites are there. Through that sites we are taking the backups of particular sites, where there are some recovery centers or recovery backup sites they have there. So through that sites we are taking the backups. For that we can call it as a backup sites, and these sites provide copy of data during any event of disasters. As I said, if any harm attack to that computer or to a particular file or a document, there are some sites. Using that sites we can get the files or the folders or the documents back it again. So that what we can call it as a backup sites. Then data we can move to the next topic, that what we can call it as a data recovery techniques. So see here, these data recovery techniques, that means see here, many factors can cause physical damage to store media. That means for example, consider we are using a CDs. Now we are hearing a songs through internet, isn't it? Before that, what they will do, what the peoples will do, they will use the CDs to listen the songs, isn't it? So if any scratches happens to the particular CD, so the CD will not going to get played. Okay, so and the songs the person will not get a chance to hear the songs if the CD has damaged, isn't it? So what we have to do to to maintain that CD, isn't it? So we have to do some of the factors, so we can see those factors. Okay, now so for that we are using the hardware repairs, for example, and recovery utilities. These two are the factors we are using to recover the data. Okay, these two are the techniques data recovery techniques. For example, considered we have stored data and data in a hard disk. If the hard disk has damaged, what we have to do? We will lose a data. Okay, we will lose a data. So or if and to explain it properly, I will take an example for considered. So we are using a fridge. Okay, consider fridge. We are storing some of the food items into the fridge. If the fridge is not going to get cold, what we will do? We'll going to repair it, isn't it? Some problems may happen into the into that fridge. So for that, what we will do, we will make the repair of that fridge. Likewise, if any scratches or anything, if it happens to the hardware, so what we have to do, by using the hardware persons, those who are having the knowledge about the hardwares, we need to take the help from that hardware persons, and we are going to repair that hardware, and we can take the backup from that hardwares. Okay, so this is all about the hardware repairs. Okay, then the recovery utilities. So see here, to restore data from logical damage, specialized disk imaging utilities, these are used. That means, so if any logical damage happens, and any physical damage happens to that particular devices, so you can utilize it just by repairing. Okay, as I earlier said, through the hard disk. So these are all the utilities we can use it to repair a particular hard disk. Okay, so after hardware repair, these utilities play a very important role to get back original data. So okay, and that means there are some recovery utilities are there after repairing the hard disks. What are they? What are those? We can see there are three recovery utilities, that is a PhotoRec and Requva and Android Photo Recovery. So PhotoRec is a program which is used to recover the files. To recover the files, we are using the program called as the PhotoRec and Requva. These are the freeware data recovery programs which runs under Microsoft Windows 7 and Vista, XP 2003 and 2098. So these are all the programs. Requva is one of the programs. Those those which will going to run under some of the operating systems. These are all the operating systems. They are Microsoft Windows 7 and Vista and XP 2003, 2007 and 98. These are all the operating system. Through these, the recovering of the data may takes place through the programs called Requva. Now we are using a operating system. Usually at present now we are using so many are Vista, so many are XP. Like these are all the old operating system. Okay. Then we can move to the next recovery utilities, that what we can call it as a Android Photo Recovery. These are the photo recovery programs that can recover fragmented photo files that run under Microsoft Windows 7 and Vista and XP. For example, if any of the photos or files, they are those are going to run under the Microsoft Windows 7 and Vista and XP. For that purpose, we are using the programs called as the Android Photo Recovery. Okay, this is another recovery utilities. Okay, these two are the utilities. Next, we can move to the security provisions in e-commerce. Okay, so what do you mean by e-commerce? All of you know. So if you have done any calculations or anything through the electronic device, that what we can call it as a e-commerce. Okay, so in that there are two topics will come under for security provisions. They are the privacy and the password and PIN numbers. Privacy, that is using encryptions. Then what do you mean by encryption? Encryption is the process of transmitting data into an unreadable code. For example, consider if you want to open your email ID, what you will going to do? You will going to type the username. After that, you will going to write the password. If you have typed the password, in which form it will going to take? It will take it in a it will going to take it in ... forms, isn't it? Unreadable code. ... will be unreadable. We can't read it. That will be unreadable code. That what we can call it as a encryption here. Okay. Then decryptions. Then what do you mean by decryption? After receiving the file, it goes under a process called decryptions. So if you have entered the data, if you have entered the password, it will be in a dot format. It will going to convert it into the readable form. That what we can call it as a decryptions. So this is all about the encryption and descriptions. Then what are passwords and pin numbers? All of you know what do you mean by password and pin numbers. Password means, so we are giving some password to your email IDs. To open a email IDs, what we will do, we will going to write a passwords to make it as security. For that one we are using the passwords and pin numbers, and we will going to give a pin numbers. For example, in Google Pay, what we will going to write, they will going to ask a UPI pin, isn't it? So there once we have given a UPI pin, your Google account will going to open it. Likewise we are using it. So that what we can call it as a password and the pin numbers. For example, you are using a mobiles. What you will do to open your mobile? So you will going to set up a password. You are going to set up the passwords. So if you have given the password, then only the mobile will going to get open it. So and also you can give the pin numbers also to open the mobiles. So this is all about the password and pin numbers. This is how, this is the figure they have shown about how to log in. To log in a particular email IDs, you are giving the username and password that they have shown it, and you might know it, and because all of you are using your email IDs, isn't it? So this is how all about passwords and pin numbers are used. Okay, then firewalls. Then what do you mean by firewalls? These firewalls are the software or hardware tools that protect a server. So to protect a server, we are using a tool, that what we can call it as a firewall, and also the network and a particular PC from viruses and hackers. Okay, so the softwares or the hardware tools are the firewalls which are used to protect the particular PC or a particular documents or a particular network from viruses and from hackers. Those we can call it as a firewalls. See here, they have shown in the figure firewalls. See here, these three computers are connected to an internet through firewalls. Okay, what the firewall will do, if any one of the hacker will going to hack the information from any one of the computers, at that time firewall, this is the one of the software, if you have installed that software into these computers, so those software what will going to work out, it will going to work out against the viruses or from hackers, and it will going to tell you if any one of the hacker will going to hack the information. At that time it will going to give an notifications. That for that we can call it as a firewalls. Okay, I think all of you have understood till now. So up to this yours is the first chapters. So to till now the first chapter will going to ends today. So okay, this is all about first chapters. If you have any doubts, you can ping me in a subject group. Okay, so next we can move to the exercise questions. They have given some brain developer fill in the blanks and state true or false and answer in one word and multiple choice questions. Okay, I will going to give the answers for the fill in the blanks. You just note down the answers, just I will give it. So because it takes more times if I read it full sentence. Okay, just I will give the answers. The answer for first one is the fill in the blanks. First one is the fill in the blanks. In that first one, the answer is password and pin numbers. Okay, write down all of you in your textbook. Okay, all of you. Then second one will be the virus. Okay, then third one will be the verb, and fourth one will be the cracker. Okay, then fifth one will be the spam, then sixth one will be the client part and a server part. Okay, then seventh will be the spammer, then eighth one will be the keylogger, then ninth will be the decryption, then 10th one will be the spammer. 10th one will be the spammer. These are all the answers for the fill in the blanks. See students, all of you write down the fill in the blanks, straight true or false, multiple choice questions and answer in one word in the textbook only. Okay, and write answer the following questions what they have asked. You should make a 200 page king size notebook, you make it and write the answer the following in your king size textbook, notebook. So and remaining all of you have to write it in a textbook only. So why I am telling this like this, because to reduce your work, because you are 10th standard, no, for that I am telling like this. Okay, next we can move to the next one, that what we can call it as a straight true or false. Then first to the first sentence is true and second one is false, third one is false, and fourth one is, wait a minute, fourth one is false and fifth one is true, then sixth one is true, seventh one is true, eighth one is true, ninth one is true and 10th one is false. Okay, so next we can move to the next, that is multiple choice questions, and the answer for first one is the option is C. Okay, then second one is the B, then third one will be the hacking, wait a minute, I will read that sentence. Hacking a web server or taking control of another person's website called as a web hijacking. Okay, then fourth one is the option is C, and fifth one is the option is C, and for sixth one the option is B, and for seventh one the option is C, and for eighth one the answer is the answer for that question, the option will be B. Okay, next we can move to the answer in one word sentences. Okay, so the answer for first one will be the mail bombing, and for second one is the stealth viruses, stealth, STEALTH, stealth viruses, and the answer for third one will be the Richard Skrenta. I will pronounce the spelling RICHARDSKRENTA. Okay, next we can move to the fourth one, the answer is antivirus. Next fifth one, the answer is data backups. Okay, then the answer for sixth one will be the encryption. Okay, so and next part will be the answer the following. Students, there are 11 questions will be there. You search the answer from the book and you write down these questions, and answer will be in the notebook. Okay, and the remaining you should write it in a textbook. Okay, this completes your first chapter. Okay, all of you should read the textbook carefully and write the exercise questions and answers in textbook and in the fair. Okay, so don't waste the time, read it properly. Okay, this complete so till now so time has moved a lot, so I will wind up today's class. Okay, we can meet in the next class. Okay, all of you take care and bye.